Hi guys, welcome to this week's weekly wrap up. I hope you've all had a really lovely week. Now this week, as always, I've been super lucky with publishers. They're so lovely to send me so many books. I've got some books from publishers to show you, and I've also went to the library and I've got a couple of library books to show you as well, and then I'll let you know what was on the blog this week and what you can expect next week. So this week I got sent 5 books, but last week I got sent a book on Saturday that I didn't show you because it arrived after I'd filmed the video. So the first one that I got this week was The Shock of the Fall by Nathan. Now I don't know if this is Nathan Filer or Nathan Filler, but it's spelled F-I-L-E-R, so I don't know. Choose which one you want to go with. And this was recently named the Costa Book Award winner of 2013, and it's all about mental health, I think, or I think that's what it's supposed to be about, which is really great because I love anything to do with mental health, so I'm really excited to be reading it. And this is actually the 4th edition of this book, so it's been published quite a lot already, so it's got to be good if it's already on the 4th edition, so I'm looking forward to reading that one. Then I got sent, this week I got sent one unsolicited book, which is basically a book that I didn't ask for, that just randomly arrived in the post, and I'm really excited about this one because this is called The Accident by C.L. Taylor, and this is about a perfect teenager who deliberately steps out in front of a bus. Then her mother retraces her daughter's steps to find out why she decided to step out in front of a bus, and she finds a horrifying entry in her daughter's diary and is forced to face dark and shocking truths about her daughter and her own past. As this chilling story unfolds, who will you trust? Now I love the cover of this. I think it's just beautiful, and well, actually beautiful is probably the wrong word, it's more like haunting, but as soon as I read the blurb, this really reminded me of a book I read last year. I don't think it's on my shelf, I think it's downstairs, and it is called Reconstructing Amelia by Kimberly McCreight, and that was very much a similar thing where the daughter died, or she committed suicide, or she was murdered, and the mother had to find out why her daughter did that and why she didn't know her daughter as well as she thought she did. So this kind of sounds like it's going to be very similar, but I'm looking forward to it because I love the cover, and the blurb just always sounds so good when it's kind of like mystery ones, and apparently it's perfect for fans of Gone Girl and Before I Gone to Sleep, so that's really good because I loved both of those books. Then from Quercus this week I got sent 2 books. The first one is called These Are Our Children by Julie Maxwell, which has got a kind of strange cover. I think that's supposed to be a baby's head, like a scan, and I think this is basically about a woman who kind of has to decide between 2 men, and yeah, Florence is 6 weeks pregnant and positive it's her husband's unless it's Thomas's. 2 loving men at the same time is worth a deceit. Thomas is a brilliant neonatal doctor whose invention could save premature babies, giving them a chance is worth the risk. Helen is a nurse grieving for her own baby miscarriage just before the new technology was introduced. Helping other parents is worth a sacrifice. A novel that explores what love can drive us to do, searingly funny, devastatingly moving and audaciously honest. And I'm quite excited about this because I do love reading about children and babies and pregnancy because it's just a topic that really interests me, so I'm looking forward to giving this one a read. And it's quite short as well, it's only 294 pages long, so I'll probably be able to storm through that one, so I'm looking forward to reading that one. Then I think this is also from Quercus. Yeah, Quercus. This is the 2nd book by the author Claire Dyer. She wrote The Moment, which I'm yet to read, which is really annoying, but it's called The Perfect Affair, and I love this cover. And strangely, I have this massive addiction to books about affairs. I just love reading about them because I think the emotion in them is so strong, and I always really love trying to work out who I want to side with and who I like connect with more. So I think this is basically about an affair and kind of what happens, and 2 people falling in love when they shouldn't, and how they navigate that tricky part of their life. So I'm really looking forward to reading this one, and I'm definitely going to try and put this on the top of my TBR pile. Then recently Ben Willis at Headline has created a really awesome website for book bloggers, and I'm not quite sure how you pronounce it, but I think it's Book Bridger, spelled book and then B-R-I-D-G-R, so I'm guessing it's Book Bridger or something like that. And basically it's where book bloggers can request books to review, and then you get sent them from the publicist, and you can arrange blog tours and interviews, and it's basically a really easy and straightforward way to kind of work with alongside the publisher. And I requested quite a few books, and 2 of them arrived this week. The first one, which I'm so excited about, is called The Troop by Nick Cutter, and if that cover just doesn't make you want to read it, then I don't know what will. The blurb says, he felt something touch his hand, which is when he looked down. For the scouts of Troop 52, 3 days of camping, hiking and survival lessons on Falstaff Island is as close as they'll get to a proper holiday, which was when he saw it. But when an emaciated figure stumbles into their camp asking for food, the trip takes a horrifying turn. The man is not just hungry, he's sick. Sick in a way they've never seen before, which was when he screamed. Cut off from the mainland, the troop face a terror far worse than anything they could have made up around a campfire. To survive, they will have to fight their fears, the elements, and eventually each other. And it says, as unsettling as Lord of the Rings, Lord of the Flies, as shocking as the thing, the troop will get under your skin. Now, when I was at school, I read Lord of the Flies, and I loved the dynamic between the characters and kind of the way that they had to survive in this environment. So I'm really excited about this, because this is, again, another kind of survival novel. Really excited about this one. I just think it sounds amazing, and I cannot wait to read this. It reminds me a little bit of, what was the book that oh, this is going to annoy me now. I read a book that was kind of similar, about people that were kind of trapped and they had to kind of deal with the survivor instinct, but honestly I can't remember what it was called now. But yeah, really excited about reading this one. And then the final book that I got sent through the post this week was published last year, I think, but this year it's coming out in paperback. Let me just have a, oh, come on, where is it? Yeah, it was published last year, but it's coming out in paperback this year. I mean, it's called Precious Thing by Colette Macbeth. Now, I don't know if anybody knows who Colette Macbeth is, but she used to be a BBC News reader, and she's recently turned novelist. And I just adore the sound of this book. It's, remember the person you sat next to on your first day at school? Still your best friend, or disappeared from your life for good? Some friendships fizzle out. Rachel and Clara promised theirs would last forever. They met when Rachel was the new girl in class, and Clara was the friend everyone wanted. Instantly, they fell under one another's spell, and nothing would be the same again. Now, in their late 20s, Rachel has the TV career, the flat, and the boyfriend, while Clara's life is spiralling further out of control. Yet, despite everything, they remain inextricably bound. Then Clara vanishes. Is it abduction, suicide, or something else altogether? Imagine discovering something about your oldest friend that forces you to question everything you've shared together. The truth is always there, but only if you choose to see it. So, I just love the sound of that. I just love this kind of idea of secrets and not really knowing the people that you think you know. I think that's just a lovely idea to explore, so I'm really looking forward to reading this, and I just adore the cover as well. It's so kind of pretty and simple but effective. It's not very exciting under the dust jacket, it's just a book, but yes, really excited about this one. Then I went to the library because I had a reserved book to pick up, which was this one, called Letters of Note, Correspondence Deserving of a Wider Audience by Sean, well actually it was compiled by Sean Usher. I just love this book, it's so heavy, but I just think it's so beautiful and it's just lovely really. And this is basically a book full of letters, can you see? Full of letters that have been written to different people throughout history, and it's just full of exciting things and pictures and history and just loads of exciting things basically. It's letters that people have written to each other. Some of them are famous people, well actually they're all famous people, but I just think it's so interesting and exciting. And it has like a contents list in the beginning of the kinds of letters that are in this book. So one of them is from Queen Elizabeth to President Eisenhower about her recipe for dropped scones, or scones, however you say it. Then there's one from Virginia Woolf to Leonard Woolf, which is her suicide note. There's one from Charles Dickens to the Times. There's just so many. There's one from Emily Dickinson to Susan Gilbert. There's one about the discoverer of DNA writes to his son. It's just so full of so many brilliant letters written by famous people. So yeah, definitely worth reading or having a look at. It's not really the kind of book that you just sit and read in one go. It's one of those books that you can kind of go backwards and forwards to. But I'm already quite far through. I'm already on page 64. So I've read quite a lot actually, and it's nice because it's one of the books that you can get through quite quickly because the letters aren't really long. So it's a really lovely book and it's so pretty as well. So definitely want to look out for if you're interested in those kinds of things. Then whilst I was in the library, I couldn't help myself but look at the YA section because I've kind of got a bit crazy about YA fiction at the moment. So the first one I picked up was one that I've heard people talk about on BookTube all the time, but I've never really kind of wanted to read it. And I saw it and I thought, I'll just read it anyway. It's called Hush Hush by Becca Hush Hush by Becca Fitzpatrick. And I think this is kind of some romantic fiction that's a bit fantastical at the same time. Not very well looked after, unfortunately, because it's a bit broken and battered, but looking forward to giving that one a read. It's quite short, it's only 370 pages-ish, so that should be quite a quick and easy read. Then I also found this one, which I've heard quite a lot about, again, never read it. It is called Soulmates by Holly Bourne, and soulmates do exist, but not as you think. Every so often, two people are born who are the perfect match for one another, soulmates. But what if meeting your soulmate is earth-shattering? Literally. An epic, electrifying and extraordinary debut about falling in love, and I love anything to do with love and romance and falling in love, especially if it's kind of teenage love, so really looking forward to reading this one. It's quite a thick book, actually, this one. About 400 pages, no, 500 pages, which is quite a lot, so I don't know how long it will take me to read this, but if it's YA I might get through it quite quickly, so really quite excited about reading that one. Then the next two that I got, I've never heard of before, but I just saw them and I thought, okay, that looks quite good. The first one is All These Things I've Done by Gabrielle Zevin, and this says, New York 2082, when Anya is arrested for attempted murder, the district attorney offers her a choice: stay away from his son or watch helplessly as he destroys her family. It should be a straightforward decision, except that the DA's son is the boy Anna loves, and her family is at the dark heart of the city's criminal underworld. Anya must choose between love and loyalty, knowing that whatever she decides will have a shattering consequence: heartbreak or a gangland war that will tear the city apart. So I'm kind of quite excited about that. It's set in the future. Never really read much futuristic fiction before, so looking forward to reading that one. And then the other one I picked up is called Little White Lies by Katie Dale. The first time Lou meets tall, dark and handsome Christian, she knows he's hiding something. Why won't he talk about his past? Why doesn't he have any family photos? And why does he dye his blonde hair black? But when Christian's terrible secret is unveiled to the world, it seems everything he told Lou is a lie. Should she trust him, or is she in terrible danger? But Christian isn't the only one keeping secrets, for what if their chance meeting was no accident at all? As life follows lie, nothing is as it seems, and Lou finds herself ensnared in a web of deceit. Her loyalty is torn and emotions in tatters. She faces a terrible dilemma: shatter the lives of those she holds dearest, or betray the guy who, against all odds, she's fallen in love with. So that's basically giving you the whole plot overview there. But yeah, this is called Little White Lies by Katie Dale, and I'm quite excited about giving this one a read. I've never heard of her before, never read anything by her before. This is only about 380 pages, so not too much of a thick one, so hoping I'll get around to that one soon. So that is all the books I've got this week from publishers and from the library. On the blog this week I've had quite a good week. On Monday I had a review of Portia Mackintosh's book called Between a Rockstar and a Hard Place, which was a really cute little novella, which is the prequel to her full novel coming in March called Starstruck, or How Not to Be Starstruck, I think. On Tuesday I had a review of 10 Tiny Breasts by K.A. Tucker, which was a YA book with kind of a dark, sinister twist to it, but also quite lovely and romantic and happy, and it was an odd one, but really enjoyable as well. Wednesday was a busy day on the blog. I had a question and answer session with Rosie Blake about her debut novel How to Get a Love Life, and I also had a review of Checking In by Emily Harper. Then on Thursday I had a review of The League of Sharks by David Logan, which was a really interesting YA kind of fantasy book, which it was an odd one. Again, I've written a review and I'll leave it in the description box below if you want to go and check it out. And also on Thursday I had a guest post from Nick Titano about writing sarcasm in fiction, which was a really funny blog post, and I'll also link that below if you want to check it out. And on Friday, or yesterday, I had a review of The Dead Wife's Handbook by Hannah Beckerman, which was just phenomenal, and I gave that 5 out of 5 stars. And again, I'll leave the review in the description box below so you can go and check it out if you want to. Then next week on the blog, I'm going to try and remember what I've decided I'm doing, but I think on Monday I've got a review of Unwoven by Jack Croxall and an interview with him. Then Tuesday I've got a blog post that I've written and a review of Unravelling Oliver by Liz Nugent, or Nugent, or I can't remember, I don't know how to pronounce her surname. Wednesday I have a review of something else and a blog post, and Thursday again, I can't quite remember what I've written down, but there's going to be quite a lot on the blog. It was supposed to be my week off next week, but I've decided that I've got too many posts and too many interviews and too many reviews that need to go up that I can't afford to take a week off, so it's all just going to go up on the website on next week. I don't know what I'm saying now, so I'm just going to stop. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you've had a really good week, and I've got some really exciting books as well. Let me know in the comments below if you have read any of the books I've showed you, if you want to read any of the books I showed you, and just have a conversation with me. Let me know how your week's been, what you are looking forward to reading, whether you've bought any books, all that kind of stuff. So I'll see you again next week, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.